Tonight's tactical enhancement is some more of the Shinobu. Tonight we're playing Victory at Sea. It's a 1600 point game, but we're doing a classic match-off of Last Stand with my American fleet versus Destroy with the Italian fleet. So the Italian fleet got a 10% bump, so they're at 1760 points, and the US got a 10% nerf, so they're at 1440, although I'm at 1445 just to make the upgrade I wanted for one of my ships. So Emilio, talk us through your fleet. What have you brought?
Okay, so the prize of the fleet are two Littorio class battleships.
Yeah.
And they're 550 points each, so there's 1,100 points just in battleships. We made a rule in this game: you can't have more than two battleships. There's the first thing.
Yeah. If we stuck three battleships in a game this size, it'd be a bit very two-dimensional.
I brought an aircraft carrier because I always played Chris. Every time I played him, he would have an aircraft carrier all the time. Well, tonight he hasn't got an aircraft carrier, so it was it's a win because I win in the skies, and I've got more bombers than fighters, so that was a good gamble.
Yep.
But unfortunately, I've got 4 fighters, which aren't going to be able to do anything. So
yes,
there's 80, 120, nearly 160 points
well,
worth
20
of planes.
No, that'd be about
80 points each.
80 points worth of planes.
So I'm down 80 points, but because I got an advantage at the beginning in the mission, it swings and roundabouts. But
that's right.
I do have air superiority, and I start off with 14 planes, and I didn't do any extra planes.
Rightio.
The next one would be the second biggest ship in my fleet, which is the Zara class cruisers. Now they're a heavy style cruiser.
Heavy cruiser, right? So they've got big guns.
They've got 9-inch guns, whereas the battleships have got 11-inch guns. So they're actually quite large guns considering battleship to cruiser. And they're 150 points each. And these are all very fast-moving ships. And then I actually got the Navigatori class destroyers, which are 35 points each. But I paid for an upgrade, so every one of them gets an extra torpedo. So instead of 2, they get 3. And it's almost like a 33% improvement in the destroyer.
And they've got 2 batteries of the damn things as well, which
dump
them both out either side.
And the upgrade is cheap. It's only 5 points, and I'm getting a 33% improvement in the destroyer for an extra 5 points.
Well, that's pretty good value.
I figure that's great value. Yeah.
All right. Well, on the American side, look, I was doing the list and I thought this is almost exactly the same as every damn list that I do, and it'll be a repeat. And I thought that's dull. Let's try something new. So no carrier. I've taken 3 of the Clemson class destroyers because they're the only ones I've got. I really need to upgrade my fleet with more destroyers for the Americans. A couple of the Northampton, yes, a couple of the Northampton heavy cruisers. I say they're heavy cruisers, they've got no torpedoes, they've just got good guns. A Portland class heavy cruiser, and the mighty Iowa, although this one's New Jersey, upgraded in 43 to have extra AA. That's me telling myself that we don't need fighters, we've got extra AA. We'll see how that works. And look, I wouldn't do this against every fleet, but I realised that the strength of the Italian Air Force is really in its fighters. The bombers, that they get through because they're tough.
Yeah.
But they don't do a huge amount of damage.
No.
So I thought I'll brave it. I'll see how it goes. I wouldn't do it against Americans or against Japanese or even British for that matter. But I'll give it a try against the Italians.
The gamble you've got tonight is because you can't shoot down my planes unless they're in your fire range.
Yep.
Is that if I amass my bombers, there may be enough of them to do something.
That's right. It also depends what you go for. So we're going to see how that plays out. I may have actually not done the best deployment now that I think about it in terms of fending off aeroplanes. But fuck it, too late, we deployed. So
Just tell us a bit more. 1,100 points, isn't it, for that ship? And what's the size of your
this
guns?
one's this ship is 850 normally. It's 865 tonight with extra AA. And there's 16-inch guns.
Compared to my 11-inch guns in my battleships.
That's right. And these have good range. They're modern guns, unlike the 14 inches on the New Mexicos. Because this thing is worth about 2 New Mexicos and a bit extra.
So you're almost up there with the range of the Italian battleships.
It would be similar, yeah.
It's very similar, but bigger guns.
Yeah, so they only do 3 points of damage, like most heavy caliber guns. I think yours would be 3 damage points each. But they're heavy, so they do criticals on a 5 instead of a 6.
So you double your chances of a critical.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more chances for critical. We still got to confirm them on a 4+. The only thing that's bigger is the Yamato, and that has the same trick only with 4 damage dice. It's a fucking beast, that thing.
And just tell me about the biggest thing you've got is torpedoes, is that right?
Oh, look, I do have torpedoes on the destroyers, but they're American torpedoes and it's mid-war, not late war, so the torpedoes are still crap.
Okay.
Yeah, if I manage to hit, because they're only short-ranged,
Right.
you still need to roll a 5 for the thing to actually work.
Okay. Good for me.
Yeah, I won't be relying on those very much.
So no airplanes and low-tech torpedoes,
Yeah.
but you've got the biggest super heavy fighter in the fleet.
Yeah, I got the biggest beast short of the Yamato. Everyone wonders what would happen if these went up against the Yamato in games turns. This loses. I've done that a few times with my son for shits and giggles. But you'd expect that for 150 points difference. On that note, I think it's time to roll for initiative. Initiative for turn 1. Oh, mission objectives. You've got to sink every single ship. If you sink or cripple every ship and get the most points, then the Italians win. If you just get the most points, the Italians get a minor victory. With the Americans, they have to sink one ship and get the most points, or just get the most points for a minor victory.
Which is easier to achieve for a major victory, and hence why you've lost points in the fleet.
Yeah, but the trick is not getting smashed by you, basically. We'll see how that goes. You got about what have you got? 320 points more, something like that. Yeah, 320 points more. It's a lot of ships. 320 points. All right, initiative. Let's see who gets to have the first crack.
6.
And mine's rolled
3.
all the way over there. What are you doing over there? Giving the other guys the initiative. That's what you're doing. All right. Well, we'll check in at the end of turn 1. End of turn 1. I've moved up with destroyers protecting my cruisers. Probably should have done that with my battleship, but I don't know, maybe. And of course, Emilio's doing the same thing. He got one airplane up, so little flight developing over there. This, what are they called again? Battleships?
The Littorio class battleships.
Yeah, one of the Littorio got some broadside fire onto the Iowa. He only got 2 points of damage through the armour, but one of those was a critical to the light guns, so that was a bit annoying. I'll have to try and repair that in a moment. We fired back with 6 barrels, but because he's broadside, I was hitting him on 4s instead of 5s, so I only hit him twice, 2 points of damage. No extra damage, but I've damaged his props. So I got a critical as well, and I got that on the 5. So the heavy guns are already paying for themselves. On that note, we'll do some damage repair in a moment, see if we can fix those up. In the meantime, let's roll for initiative. 6, 2. Alright, I get the initiative in turn 2. We'll check in at the end of that. A brief segue between turns. I just rolled up 6 hits that did criticals on hitting. Was damage, 6 points of damage that did criticals on damage, and not a single one of them turned into an actual confirmed critical. Motherfucker. End of turn 2. I'm manoeuvring a little bit more to shift to the right. Not just because the big battleships there are going to my left. There's a flight of things here. bombers. We actually realised that they can't be dive bombers because those are not carrier based. So these are actually the level bombers. And over there we have another flight that's gone and gotten airborne. Now the thing about level bombers is they're actually good in a dogfight. Not that that matters today, whereas dive bombers are notoriously shit in a dogfight. But they're tough, so you've got to get 2 hits on them. And all of my boats only have 1 AA, except for the big boy who's got a few.
Which means there's a good chance they'll survive a hit, and more of them, better chance of dropping a bomb.
That's right, no right of reply. They're level bombers, so they won't do as much damage, but they won't be sacrificing points to do bombing runs unless they go after this guy. So that's safe as houses, those chaps, unless my battleship decides to get close to them and do them a number on them. Now, so the movement happened over here. Both of the big Littorios got rounds on my ship and actually put a couple of criticals on crew. I'm going to have to work really hard to get rid of those. Whereas I dropped a massive bombardment on that Littorio there. I think I had like 5 or 6 criticals and didn't confirm a single one.
Yeah.
That was rather rude, I thought.
So I got 2 criticals and both hit the engines, the crew. So overall, I actually won the first 2 turns of combat. That's
right, you're ahead. So I need to get clever. So we'll do our repair rolls in a moment. But in the meantime, initiative 3 on bode well. Oh, 3! Oh, excellent. 6.
There you go. Odds are
1.
Oh,
yep,
he's
great.
done it again.
We're going to need that. The thing is, Emilio's got more ships, so by the time I get around to moving the big boy, he's still got 2 big boys that he can move separately in response. So on that note, we'll check in at the end of turn 3. End of turn 3. This takes a bit of explaining. What I did was I set up this conga line of smoke to try and section off the battlefield. So only one of the Littorios could fire at my battleship, and everyone else was protected from this fella. So I'm letting him shoot everything. I'm in for a bad run. I did have a destroyer or 2 who weren't covered by smoke. Emilio got very aggressive with his destroyers. This one came barreling on in and blasted my destroyer away. I did actually fire my battleship first at the Littorio, and I I got a I didn't get a lot of critical out of everything that I dropped, but I got just enough.
You got 2 criticals.
Got 2 criticals,
and one of them,
1 crew and 1 to the vital systems. I said that if I roll a 6, we'll just re-roll it because that'd be cheesy. So naturally, I rolled a 5 instead. But then on 46, I only rolled 7. I think the average is 14, so you got away with that for extra damage. But then it pushes each of the criticals up by 1, including the crew that he just taken.
So I've got a fire on board. Do I do repairs now at the end of this turn, or do we do it at the beginning of next turn?
Do it around about then. So we'll work that out in a minute. Yeah. But he's now got a fire on the crew, and his engine's up to damage 3, so it's starting to get into bad territory for that guy. We actually were a bit underwhelming in what we did to each other in most other respects with the big ships. He did a little bit back to my guy, but missed his criticals. Thank fuck for that. There's a pesky little destroyer coming around here to intercept my battleship. I fucking better win initiative next turn, otherwise I'm in strife.
2 bombers still.
Yeah, two bombers there, because he figured his destroyer wasn't going to be around long enough to use its torpedoes against anything else, so he took out the destroyer, leaving the bombers with no target. And these bombers here took out another destroyer, so I'm down by 2 destroyers. 60 points each, which is a bit expensive in mid-war. Probably better value in late war. But
they don't have a lot of hull points, and that's what made them vulnerable. Yes,
and I've been firing a whole lot of light dual-purpose guns to try and take out of his planes, but I just can't get a double 6. I fired a lot of AA. I just didn't get good rolls because he's taken tough bombers. Now these bombers, they're good at ganging up on destroyers. They're not as effective at taking out cruisers. But
the destroyers are there to do a job, which is lay smoke to protect the cruisers.
That's right.
And it looks like next turn, if I win initiative, there might be another destroyer gone, and that's all the smoke shields gone.
Well, that's right. I mean, I can always do smoke with the cruisers, but it's really not the same. Now, one particular note, that destroyer, I hit it with a bunch of stuff. Took out 4 of its 5 hull points. So it's crippled, so it can't do special orders, so it can't issue smoke. So that cruiser is in a... he's going to have a bad day. I'm looking forward to that. But I haven't even met my mission objective yet. I've got to destroy at least one ship. I haven't got any.
You're close.
Yeah, I'll get them shortly.
Yeah.
What I really need to do is to make sure that sneaky torpedo boat there doesn't get to my battleship first. On that note, let's roll some initiative before we do the damage rolls.
6.
6. Oh,
Yay, I got one
you
back.
traitor! We'll check in at the end of turn 4. End of turn 4, I think it was. Right, so we're still managing to drop enough smoke to keep these ships out of firing, but these destroyers are closing in. They're going to have a go next turn, and I'm now out of destroyers. What got the destroyer? I think the bombers got the destroyer, didn't they?
Yeah.
I actually took out one of the bombers with some AA. Too little, too late, but better than nothing. Now, in the random crossfire of cruisers blasting each other and the odd destroyer, we took out another of Emilio's destroyers there, and this ship here fired across and took out a destroyer there. That was fortunate, because that was before it managed to drop its broadside of 6 torpedoes that would have absolutely wrecked Portland. So I got lucky there. This cruiser dumped some rounds out, did some damage to the Portland, reduced its light guns amongst other things. There's a bit of critical there. We did a bit of damage back from the Portland, only a few points really, nothing special. Meanwhile, okay, so Emilio got his orders on for this guy.
Which is a huge plus.
Yep, got the crew down to 1, so below escalation. The engines didn't really repair, and the crew didn't do much.
That was a bounce back for me.
It was a bounce back. That ship was actually looking pretty healthy again.
Yeah.
He did limited... Well, he didn't even get to fire, actually, because this beast came around the Rocky Isle, fired, did okay to hit, but then did really well on the criticals.
You rolled 5 criticals.
Fucked it right up. He's sitting on 5 hull points now. He's dead in the water. He's on fire. Magazine explosions everywhere. It's just going to blow up. It's abandoned ship. In fact, don't even worry about the lifeboats. Fucking jump off and swim for your life. Quick note, I was having a lot of trouble bumping off Emilio's destroyers. And in the end, when I did shoot at the destroyer, I got a critical. And I blew the fucker up with a magazine explosion. I got a critical, I rolled a 10 on vital systems magazine explosion, and it just went kablooey. So it took a lot of hard work to get rid of it, but I feel good about the way that it went.
We both lost two destroyers each.
Oh, I've lost 3, mate.
3. Okay.
I've lost 3, you lost 2. Yeah, so I've sunk a ship. That's all I really need to do. All I need to do now is get more points, which may or may not happen, because these destroyers, as well as a perfectly good cruiser there, are going to be in amongst my 3 cruisers. There's only so much smoke I can drop to try and avoid that shit. And while that will go, that's still that big boy there who's taken some damage against this fella who's untouched, and a few other things in the water that can start... See, even though the main armaments on these things aren't very good at getting through the armour to blow shit up, a 6 is still a 6 is still a 6, so they can still drop critical. And as we know, critical is what destroys the big ships at the end of the day.
And, Madonna, she's on this ship and she's singing like a virgin. So...
Well, we only got Cher, for fuck's sake.
You got Cher. She's on the big turret at the front.
Yeah, well, I think it was one of these ships as well.
Yeah, we're one of the big boys. But I want to see if I can get at least 2 planes on, and we need to roll initiative as well.
Yes, we do need initiative.
So I'll start with planes. Oh,
yeah, okay. You got 2 planes. Very good.
Yeah, that's good.
Starting
And
to form
initiative.
Up. Initiative. 5. What do you got? 5. Oh, we've got
it's going to be tight.
Re-roll.
Oh, here we go. This is sweats.
Oh, yeah, all 8.
Oh, it's looking good.
And 6. Oh, thank God.
Chris has got
Because you know what?
advantage now.
Last turn you had the initiative, and it's still...
I've still got more ships than
you actually came ahead on everything except for that thing being crippled.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll check in at the end of turn 5. End of turn 5. And in generations to come, this will no doubt be a very popular dive spot. There's so many fucking ships are copying it here. This little channel between these two islands that are just blasting the shit out of each other.
Yeah, it's a bit like Falklands Islands with Argentina and England.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's right. So this turn, these guys came around here, still trying to get shots. These ships came around, didn't really have viable shots. There was just too much junk in the way. The only thing that these two ships could do was plinker airplanes. We were talking earlier about the airplanes, the level bombers here. They're really good at taking out my destroyers. My destroyers are a bit piss weak. When they go after the cruisers, they can do a bit, but they're not enormously effective.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I keep shooting at the damn things, but you need to roll double 6 in the same volley to take one of these out. And I'm getting single 6s all over the place. So if Emilio is hocking in dive bombers, which would do huge amounts of damage, they're a bit slower getting there, but
I would need to be near a land. There would have to be like a land here, and then I could actually invest in land planes.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you can just pay for them. No more than a third of your fleet allocation can be airplanes.
Top.
Yeah, so you can just buy a shitload of dive bombers and have them fly over.
Yeah.
But every time I roll a 6, one of them would die. Whenever I roll a 6 against these, nothing happens to them because I'm not getting the second 6.
Yeah. So definitely they're going to be destroyer hunters.
And they've done a good job. They've polished off 3 of them. With some help, but they've done it. So in the mix here, a lot of shot going back and forth. Emilio dumped his torps and he just rolled crap. That was really terrible. He should have crippled this Chester. And he poured all his other shots in. And it's 1 off of crippled. Meanwhile, I've been pumping shots into his destroyers, and they're both crippled, but they're not destroyed.
Yeah. But you'll probably take them out now because they're crippled. I won't be able to move maximum speed, which means they're going to be a target.
Yeah. I'll pick them off, but it's just more shots I've got to put into them and not something else. This fella here, he dropped smoke to protect him from that cruiser and that battleship, so he's still there. He took maybe took a couple of rounds, but nothing much. But I did the same trick with that Chester, the Chester's the name of the ship. Northampton's the class. So these 2 ships had no viable targets. And that's basically what I've had to do all game because Emilio outweighs me by 300 odd points. If I don't section off his fleet, then I'm doomed. And it's more or less working. Emilio's still accruing damage on my fleet, but of course I managed to gang up on that bastard.
This was the turning point here.
Yeah, 1-on-1, that versus that is a very one-sided fight unless you get very lucky.
Yeah.
And I mean, all I can say is that the cascading criticals were absolutely brutal to roll through.
Yeah.
So we'll go into turn 6. Any other comments?
Just I want to try planes. So initiative, I think.
Initiative, right? Yes, initiative. Let's see what we can do. 5, 4. Oh, the dice are not favouring you today, mate.
No.
Normally I'm griping about my dice, but that seems to be more of a Warhammer phenomena.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll check in at the end of turn 6. End of turn 6 and the carnage continues. Now, I got all cunning, and I set up this lovely gun line here, expecting a straight up fight. So naturally Emilio manoeuvres everything so that the only target that he can see and that can see him is that Portland there, and of course this ship here, which was damaged. Now I put evasive manoeuvres on this and then totally forgot to get Emilio to re-roll his hits. So I've been shot up quite badly, and it's crippled. Truth be told, it probably would be crippled anyway, but I really should have been getting you to re-roll your to hit rolls there. Fuck it, he's copped it. And of course the Portland is crippled as well because the battleship just went and dumped on it and whomped him good and proper. So I've got one effectively untouched cruiser,
Yeah.
one largely untouched battleship, and couple of dings, nothing
at
serious.
the beginning of the game, yeah.
And then I got two crippled cruisers that are not looking too good.
Yeah.
My
objective was, my primary target was this cruiser. It always was this cruiser.
Yeah,
and then once I crippled
him out.
Then I dumped everything on him.
That's right, and as you can see, we've destroyed a few other things. I picked off the last of Emilio's destroyers, so they're gone. I'm still shooting his aeroplane, rolling the occasional 6, but not actually 2 6s at once.
Yeah. This turn was probably in my favour because you've now lost dice for that cruiser and you've lost dice for that cruiser.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's half fire.
And you'll probably pick off one of those cruisers. The other one I might be able to protect, but it's...
Whereas I had 2 crippled destroyers, overall I think I actually won this turn, even though you won the initiative.
Points-wise, I think with the damage done with crippling, yes. But we've still got a bit more time to go.
Yep.
So we'll go into turn 7. We'll do some damage control in a moment.
Planes first.
Yep, you're getting 2 planes. Yeah, you are.
Yay. Alright.
Alright, and I'm getting, for initiative, 8.
Oof, that's a good roll.
It is.
And I've got 7.
Alright. Well, let's get into it. We'll check in at the end of turn 7. End of turn 7, and yeah, again, Emilio is manoeuvring carefully to avoid shot from my battleship, which had me thinking, well, I can either shoot at this cruiser needing 5s to hit, or I can shoot at this carrier needing 4s to hit. Then I realised, well, fuck, I could have shot at that carrier last turn with my entire gun line that I didn't shoot at it with. In fact, I've still got some more to do because we skipped ahead. On the flip side, they took out one of the cruisers and they bumped the other one down to 1 hull point. We'll see if he's still there next turn. He may have an Escalade or something. We did do rather a bit of damage on that carrier, though. There's a good whomping from the battleship.
Well, he's got 57 hull points, and you got him down to 45.
Yeah,
so
he's on engines too, though. He's not going to take much till he starts burning.
Yeah.
But we did actually forget to do a couple of things. We'll check those. But that's basically it. They got their rounds. They concentrated on one target. I did finally manage to kill an aeroplane. I just rolled a fistful of 60s when the AA came out of the Iowa.
I'm going to roll to see if any more planes come out because I think one more turn and that aircraft carrier might not be there.
Yes.
So, one more plane.
And we'll have to roll for our damage control and all of that.
Yeah.
Then let's roll for initiative for turn 8. This will be the last turn.
Oh, you're rolling so well, Chris. 7.
Yeah, 7 again. There we go.
Again.
Alright, well, we'll check in at the end of turn 8. End of turn 8, and it's game. What an interesting game it's been. In the last volleys of the game, he put his rounds from all his major ships down on the last little cruiser I had hiding here, took him out. And in fact, the planes finished the job, took the last 4 hull points off, and even then, one of those was a critical. I'm assuming that planes can do criticals, bombing runs. But yes, it was the one critical on weapons that took away the last hull point, and he went. Now Emilio was again doing things to avoid too much direct contact or getting shot up too much. He's doing a lot of good work there to minimise the damage I was doing. But I realised that I'd completely failed to shoot at the carrier in one turn when I thought I had no targets. So just my mind wasn't there.
Destroyed in a turn earlier.
And then probably taking out a cruiser this turn.
Yeah.
But as it is, I rolled up a fucking storm with that thing, and I got 2 vital systems rolls and a whole bunch of other crap on it.
Over 45 hull points to damage at point blank range.
That's right. I fucked up that carrier in ways that are really just very impolite if you think about it. It's a battleship versus a carrier.
Yeah.
So I've got no ships left except for this big boy. But so the mission was Emilio had to sink everything. And we're just saying the only way he was ever going to do that was if he just did nothing but gang up on this ship with all of his big guns. Whereas we played a much more tactical game than that.
I didn't. I think at the beginning, if we'd realised that I had to take out his battleship, then that was the whole objective of the whole game. But I didn't want to play tonight that way.
Yeah.
So I basically set myself up for a fail, but for me, a more enjoyable, fun game.
Well, it was certainly a very interesting game. I've only got one ship left.
And I'm left with one battleship, 2 cruisers, keeping in mind no damage to the battleship, no damage to that cruiser, and only 4 hull points to that one.
You've got about as many points worth of stuff on the table as I have.
850.
So it would be a pretty even fight, but you started off with 300 more than me.
Yeah.
So I've done more damage, as well as having sunk at least one of your ships.
So you got a minor victory.
Or major victory.
Is it?
Which is rare. We don't very often get those.
Oh. Maybe I should have taken him out.
So, whacking out that carrier at the end was definitely a bonus. Because I only got that carrier by 1 point in the end, and that was because of all the escalations as the critical damage cascades around the table.
But you still would have got a minor victory if you didn't take the carrier out.
Well, to get a major victory, I've got to sink one ship and do more points. If I only do more points and I don't sink anything, somehow that's a minor victory. It's very strange.
Yeah.
But anyway, whereas you did some really clever manoeuvring, controlling lines of sight, picking your targets and ganging up on them. Your planes worked a treat.
On the destroyers.
Well, they did some pretty serious work with the cruisers too. They probably tallied up at least 20 odd points on various cruisers throughout the remaining 4 turns of the game. So they fucking earned their points and then some. And only got the carrier on turn 8. So that was interesting because your planes they don't do king hit, but they wear things down, and they don't sacrifice points in the process.
And that was the last of my bombers that came out. The rest were fighters. So
and your bombers are +1 at a dogfight anyway. The fucking deviants. And look, I mean, we've got a dead capital ship here. We've got a dead capital ship over there, the carrier. We've got scuba diving paradise. Every one of these smoke things is a cruiser or a destroyer. What a rotten demolition derby that was. A whole lot of point blank fire mayhem going on through there, and the occasional heavy battleship shell going through. This is probably the most carnage we've had in a small area in one table in this game.
And yet the first 3 turns you use smoke really, really well. And I said to Chris earlier, I think if we start at the very beginning, I had a deployment advantage because I decided to wipe out everything in his fleet except for his battleship, when I should have actually positioned myself to focus everything onto his battleship. So I did the opposite of what I should have done, but I just wanted a better game. So I thought I'd give up a victory for a good game. Yeah,
I mean, it was a very interesting game, and it was a proof of concept of a number of things, and it worked really well. I mean, our tactics did what we tried to do with them. Really, I was saying earlier, the way to have beaten that big boy would have been to get both of your battleships, basically put them in formation side by side, and just double womp him every turn. Because sectioning off your 2 battleships so only one of them could fight me at a time was the thing that allowed that thing to actually persevere.
And you also didn't protect your battleship. So there was no smoke on it, there was no destroyer on it.
No, that's right. But what I did do was protect it at distance, because the smoke that was covering the cruiser's advance was also sheltering one of the flanks, so they only had to take on one of your battleships.
It's just maybe, again, at the beginning I didn't position to take on the battleship, which means I probably could have pushed my battleships more to the centre or to the left. Gone front on.
Because you had more ships with which to choose where to deploy your last few drops. But one of the things that got me about this, right, is that intuitively it makes sense to clean up the fleet. It's only in points that the battleship really matters. And intuitively, like, you've walked away with a battleship and 2 cruisers. I've got a battleship, which in any other measure would be counted as very successful, but we just happen to know that battleship's such a friggin' beast.
But he's hard to kill. Also, the other thing that I found is you talked about word wasn't dodging, but was ship connection. Evasive manoeuvres and all that sort of thing. That is really good value, and it would have been good value from aircraft carrier.
It would have, and it would have been great value for my cruiser if I've remembered to actually apply it. When you were shooting at me.
So that's something that's well worth using in a game like this. And I also think it might pay for me to have bought dive bombers.
Dive bombers would be interesting, right? It would probably not make much difference to how well you cleaned up the destroyers. I mean, maybe, it's hard to say. But they certainly would have fucked up the cruisers faster, but the flip side is you would have lost half of them.
Yeah, because they're only one way.
So the way I was rolling dice at you, I kept getting 1/6 when I needed 2. So every one of those 1/6s would have been 15 points worth of dive bomber.
So I would have had to have had maybe 6 or 7 in a group, and then I would have just tried to swarm the battleship, and then try swarm with my destroyers towards that battleship, and I would take losses, but there would be enough devastating bombs combined with my 2 battleships that maybe it could have been a turning point.
If you were to not take a carrier, for example, and take land-borne aircraft, which is quite reasonable in the Mediterranean,
I would have got 12
dive bombers, and look, you probably would have lost them all at the end. But 6 of them would have got through. That's an awful lot of dive bombs on something. Yeah. They ignore armour.
And I've got them. It might be something I do in a game in future is not bring an aircraft carrier and just put the points on dive bombers, particularly if I've got a high... This objective game, this is a high value target, and this would have won the game for me. So I think that approach would have been better than bringing an aircraft carrier, because of the dive bombers would have done a better job.
Hard to say. Because your aircraft could have gone around cleaning up the smoke droppers without sacrificing points, and then with the smoke droppers gone, then you can hone in with a double whammy with your 2 battleships. So swings and roundabouts.
True.
Look, at the end of the day, I think for what you were trying to do, your tactics were great. Just you weren't trying to do the thing that was the mission obligation.
It's the first time I think the Italian fleet's actually had a devastating loss and you've had a major victory. I think I've never had you chalk that up before. So
I've had 1 or 2 with the Japanese, but...
Early games.
Going back a couple of years now. No, look, you're really good with the Italian fleet. They were doing all sorts of clever things to be very effective. And I found out just how fucking annoying it is to have it done to you, because that's what I did to people all the time. It was a really good game. Well, anyway, look, thanks for watching. It's well past pumping the clock here, so that's us done for the evening. Feel free to hit like, subscribe, tell your friends. Let us know how good or absolutely insane our tactics are. Jesus Christ. I suppose there were shit fights like that in amongst, islands and things. But anyway, it's time to call it a night.